Hey, I'm Jessica. I perform under the name DateNite. I'm a multi-instrumentalist and synth nerd. Today I'm going to show you how I use my instruments, my voice, my flute, and my guitar, and how I sample them into my Novation circuits. Okay, so first I already have some pre-recorded pads and drum loops on my circuit tracks and my circuit rhythm. I'm primarily going to be sampling into my circuit rhythm to start, so I'll just play you a little bit of that. Just so I can get the key. Cool. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be working with from the start. First, I'm going to sample my voice. For me, that's more natural and comfortable. I grew up learning classical flute, so I tend to write in a more melodic manner. I usually do melodies, harmonies first, and then drums, effects, everything like that is kind of last. So I'm going to start with my voice. So first, I'm going to get a clear sample here on the rhythm. If you guys can see it, it's actually this red dot here. So this is a sample space I already cleared out that's ready to go. I have a couple of these here today that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use this first track for my voice. Okay, so I'm happy with that sample. It's processing now. I'm gonna go through and chop it up, see where I wanna start it and where I want it to end. Now, I'm gonna mention as well, I have my vocals running through a couple of my guitar pedals. So while that's processing, I'll show you these real quick. This is a Hello Kitty pedal that a friend bought for me at a pawn shop in Seattle. I believe it's a boost or compressor. I'm honestly not sure. There's no information. It's just a DIY pedal that somebody made. Next, I have my Super Chorus, classic. I covered it in glitter because I love that. And yeah, I did not use that on the vocals, but I'm going to use that on the flute and definitely guitar. And then the cream of the crop here is Avalanche Run by Earthquaker Devices. It's a reverb delay pedal. You can reverse, you can do swells. So I'm sure you could already hear I have some delays already on my vocals, and I even went ahead and recorded some of this time warping because I thought that sounded cool too. So let's hear what I recorded. Okay, so you can hear it doesn't start right away, which is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. Okay, so I'm gonna work with that. To get more specific, I said I needed to twice, and then at the end I had the ahs. So I want to keep that second I needed to because I want to keep a good length of the sample going. So later on another track, I could use just the ahs or the I needed to. If I kept both I needed to, it just makes the sample a little longer and it takes up space on the rhythm. So I decided to just cut it halfway through. And yeah, so we have it here. So I'm gonna put that on my track 2. Got my pad here. Get a little click going. So I'm happy with that for now. I might change it a little later. but just a little blurb about the circuit rhythm as well. So when I'm in the actual track menu, you can see I also have start, length, slope, and 2 filters for high and low pass. So I can still go ahead on this specific track and alter that sample that I just made. So I don't have to be in the actual sample menu. So while I'm writing or while I'm even performing, I could change the start time of the sample or the length, which is pretty cool. So that's why I chose to keep that vocal length sample just a little longer so I have more opportunities to do cool things with it. All right, so I'm happy with that sample on the vocals. I'll probably change it a little later in performance, but now I'm gonna move on to sampling my flute. So I'm gonna kind of do the same process. I'm gonna have this pad going so I can hear the key that I'm in, and when I get into instruments like flute or guitar, I like it to feel really natural. So I'll probably just jam around a little first, see what I like, and then the cool thing with sampling in an instrument like this is I could just sample in a lick, as you'll hear, and then again I can go in and chop it up in whatever way I want. So I'm gonna just find a couple notes, a couple phrases that I like, and then go ahead and record them, and then we'll come back and chop them up. Okay, so I'm happy with all of those sounds. I think I'm gonna take that scale run and definitely record that, and then do some sustained and more attacked notes. So again, I can have kind of a full sample, and I can go back later and have them on different tracks, choose different length and start time. So let's go ahead and record that. Okay, cool. So that's something I'm happy with. I'm gonna do the same process as I did with my vocals. So it's processing in the rhythm right now. Now we're gonna go ahead and listen to what I just recorded. Okay, so that's a cool loop at the start, that da 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 da. So I could keep that, and I'm gonna keep going on the sample with the length and see what else is in there, because maybe there's something else I wanna start at a later time. Let's see what else we got in here. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that one. It's a little shorter than the vocal sample that I did before, which is fine. I feel like it has enough melodic information in there that I can go ahead and, again, at any other time with different projects on this rhythm, I could cut that sample in real time on the track itself. So I'm gonna keep that one for now, and then we're gonna go ahead and arrange that at the end when we do our jam. So I'm happy with that take. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sample my guitar in. For this one, I have my chorus pedal going, and I'm gonna leave the avalanche run off because I really wanna get the textures of picking sounds on the guitar. So also a fun thing when you're sampling different instruments, I think it's cool to really hone in on what is unique about that instrument. So flute and my voice is very airy. I like that with reverb. I grew up on Enya and Bjork, so I'm always have to have a reverb on my voice. But for guitar, I think it'd be cool to just leave it a little dry and then use the onboard effects of the circuit rhythm to go ahead and beef it up later with some delay, possibly reverb. gonna go ahead and do the same process. I'm gonna listen back, see where I want it to start. This time I think I'm gonna actually have a little more drums going, so I can just get a fuller sense of what this is gonna sound like at the end. So I settled on that last kind of chord thing. I thought the first lower recording I did was just a little too dependent on being on time, and I want a little more flexibility. So that's totally fine. I can always go ahead and record in different slots later, but for now we're just gonna work with this one. Awesome. So now I'm gonna go ahead and arrange my song and jam out with all these samples I just made. Just for reference as well, I'm gonna have the circuit rhythm going. So all of the samples are on here, everything I just did, voice, flute, guitar, all run through my pedals. It's going directly into the circuit rhythm. I'm also gonna have the circuit tracks going at the same time. These are already some pre-recorded onboard sounds and samples that I added just to give extra textures, kind of carve out the chord and the melodies a little more. There's also a bass line on here. So I know I didn't show too much on the circuit tracks, but just so you know, they're both going at the same time. So let's hear what that sounds like. Thank you all for listening. Again, my name is DateNite. You can find me on Instagram at IamDateNite, and that's spelled N-I-T-E. Also, I have a lot of music on my Bandcamp. I did a release recently on Spotify. You can find me under DateNite. That song is called Changes, and in it I actually use some guitar, and it's mostly vocal and beats that I wrote. And some of those beats were actually from the circuit tracks. So I kind of carved out that whole song using the circuit tracks, which is cool. But again, thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day.